Okay, so, as you know, Dolly's factory is updating tomorrow, God willing, and it's called Enter the Greenhouses. We'll be trying to predict what's to come, but whatever you do, do not take this seriously. Take this with a grain of salt. After all, this video is just for fun. So with that out of the way, let's start off with what we know. There's two characters, and I'm gonna pronounce them this way, okay, for the rest of the video. Shrubi and Linnea. With Shrubi and Linnea comes 2 new rejects and 2 new charms. We're also getting a new specialized zone, a full in-game HUD remaster, new set of level hazards, an early map remaster, and finally 4 new skins. First things first, let's begin with Shrubi. I think Shrubi will be a bit easier to predict because in a way, the plushie is already in the game by name and documents. Let me read these as they are very important. So starting off, we got Shrubi's entry log. The ambient dream dust caused a bloom of mutated plants on factory property. Each specimen seems to affect plushies differently. Superb, superb. The flowers figured out how to metabolize and synthesize dream dust into specific pollen and sap secretions, even storing dust in their petals. The potion possibilities are tantalizing. Even better, I get to name them all. So starting off, we got sun seeds. Sun seeds are known for their singular, huge, spiky seed that overtakes the head of the flower. It's rich in yellow psychoactive dream dust, which boosts focus efficiency. Superb, superb. Why did she say that? This potion will help plushies, quote-unquote, lock in. Next, we got wardwort. Wardworts grow hardened petals to protect their stigma from big predators, saving the nectar for pollinators. The dream dust found in the petals can amplify shield potions. These might make Coda overpowered. Next, we got loopwort. Loopwort produces a potent pollen that unlocks more dust energy and stuffing over time, increasing stamina. Good for endurance potions. I wonder who will let me test this on them. Then finally, we got fairy hearts. Fairy heart roses, or fairy hearts, are binary flowers with high amounts of red, vitality-attuned dream dust that speeds fluff and thread recovery. I'll use these for health potions. Thim will appreciate the assistance. So from what we've read, it seems that Shrubi is going to be a supporting character. Naturally, this makes sense since they're earth-based, and in most games, they're either tanky or supporting. I think he'll most likely work similarly to Rocky, but instead of collecting parts, he's going to be collecting plants. Eventually, he will be able to concoct them into potions for other plushies to use. There is a trailer of Shrubi picking up said plant, so this will likely become a game mechanic. Of course, this could just be for aesthetics, but I digress. It's also possible that they may also work similarly to Highfly, and that they'll be able to switch between different modes to be able to create these special potions. These potions can be dropped for other plushies, or Shrubi can throw them, provoking an explosion to give an AoE effect. I think this is satisfactory enough, so let's move on to the charm. It'll likely be a plushie enhancer of some type. As to what it'll enhance in particular, your guess is as good as mine. It could be an all-rounder charm that boosts every single stat that a plushie can have. However, it'll probably be a severely weakened stat enhancer compared to, say, a charm that boosts a singular, more focused stat like Workaholic, which only focuses on efficiency, or Carrot Rush that only focuses on speed. There's also the possibility that stat enhancers used could be boosted even further. Let's use Efficiency Fluff as an example. Instead of 20% increase in efficiency, maybe this charm can enhance it to 40%. I think a charm like this fits Shrubi's kit very well. Anywho, that's all I got, so that's enough for the charm. Let's move on to the reject. I think reject Shrubi is going to work much like his counterpart. They'll probably throw potions at you and it'll be an RNG debuff, or he could throw them at fellow rejects and enhance them to be even more deadly. It wouldn't be such a bad idea for this reject to do both if they head in that direction. If I wanted to be realistic about it though, based on the trailer, it seems like he can provoke an area of effect, that being poison. I'm guessing this because the new HUD was teased and there's a poison effect at the top of the health bar. I've never seen that before. That could very well be Reject Shrubi causing that. I mean, after all, they are holding on to a vase with a harmful substance in it. But anywho, that's all for Shrubi. Let's talk about Linnea. I have a strong feeling about this one. I think they'll make up for what's missing from Triton, that being the wall. You see, Triton used to be able to put up a wave after his dash. It was perfect for hiding plushies working on machines with high traffic areas. Of course, this was later removed, so I think Linnea will end up with his old ability, but with more power and focus behind the wall. I doubt it'll be a simple linear wall. It'll probably have a more rounded shape to cover the sides of the plushie. Plus, to add on, plushies within the wall could receive a minigame boost, which is Dolly's Factory's version of skill check. It's also possible that the wall could act as a legitimate barrier, unlike with Triton where rejects could pass through. Of course, this could be a little too strong, so as a countermeasure, they'll be able to hit the wall, and after a certain amount of damage is reached, the wall comes crashing down. Moving on to Linnea's charm, this one is pretty straightforward. Working based off of the assumption that she's a character that creates walls, it's possible that Linnea's charm affects ability duration. We don't really have a charm like that in-game. Plus, it isn't just good for Linnea, it could work for characters like Queenie, Doug, Coda, Cinnabon, and so forth. This I see working very well. Next, the Reject. I think Reject Linnea is going to act like a capture character. This is how I think it'll go down. The Reject will see you, and they'll throw a vine that'll act like a lasso. If you're captured, you'll be dragged to the creature, and if you can't button mash in time, they'll get a hit on you. This also adds a duality of danger to her as well, because if you're being dragged and a reject is along the path, they can end up hitting you before you even get out of the lasso. It's similar to Squirm, except it's a mobile character, not stationary. Now that's all in regards to the characters. We do have a new zone to talk about. This is extremely difficult because there's no sneak peeks about it at all. The most we know is that when it comes to these specialized zones, the way to progress is different from the usual, which would be completing X amount of machines. However, for this zone, it seems that the new machines are going to be a part of the specialized zone. My best guess is that it's going to be a machine that affects the greenhouse in some way, whether it be watering plants or harvesting. It's going to be some farming related activity. I think for these machines to really work well, you'd have to have speed characters similar to the Doug zone. Might also just be a machine that doesn't really take stats into consideration. Ultimately, we just don't know. Finally, we have a new set of level hazards. I'm thinking this will work similar to what we see in Dandy's world, where there's a certain chance for a blackout or an iCore leak to occur. I think Dolly's is ready to implement something like this. However, I don't really know what's in store. One easy guess could be the return of blackout. If you remember, there used to be a wheel that when spun could land on helpful things as well as hindering things. One of those was blackout. Remember though, it used the plural hazards, so there's bound to be more than one. The second thing I can guess is probably fire hazards. I mean, I would like this because in an event of a fire, it would be pretty cool for speed plushies to run towards the end of the map, retrieve a fire extinguisher, and deal with the flames. An event that's counterable is pretty nice in my opinion, but there's no telling as to what these hazards could be. Anywho, that's all I can guess from the update. I do hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think, whether you agree with the ideas or whether you think of something entirely different. All up to you. Leave it in the comments below. And with that, I'm going to be calling it here. Goodbye. Goodbye.